So I've been getting a lot of notifications between a couple videos, bro, that I did in the past, and I actually looked on my old channel, just went through some of the material, and I did a couple videos about Northside hoods, right, and the Sureños and stuff. And I started seeing like a lot of people from other cities talk about different things, and then seen some, I don't even think people that went to the penitentiary or anything was talking on it. And then there was a couple different people that was talking about it, and like recent experiences with their time when they were on the yard. So from my experience, and this is the real deal. This is the real deal of what I seen and when I was on the penitentiary. And I don't usually do these videos, but I seen a big ass argument about 2006 to about 2012, that the Sureños out here in DOC eliminated majority all the Northside hoods and the Norteños off of like all the prison yards. And there was a big ass funk because some stuff popped off in Buena Vista with the NSMs and the Sureños, right? And that domino affected to all the yards. And basically the Sureños just basically wiped out all the Northside hoods off the yards. Now, bits and parts of that is true, and then bits and parts of it is not true. There was a lot of banging going on around that time, around them years, and the Sureños, they happened to be like super deep. They had a lot of numbers on all these compounds, so anytime, a lot of times the north side had hit the yard, the Sureños was tripping. There was yards from a lot of places: Crowley, Sterling, Lyman, Buena Vista, Kit Carson. I heard that they had a population of the north. But like a lot of the penitentiaries, they were tripping, especially what went down in Buena Vista in like 2007 when the Sureños and the Northside Mafia got into it. They were shipping foods from Buena Vista, all the penitentiaries. Damn, a big old car wreck. Wow. OE, hopefully they're okay. They were shipping a lot of penitentiaries, all these people that were involved in the Buena Vista big ass brawl that popped off between the NSMs and the Sureños. So they were shipping Northside foods to all these facilities, and it got word on all these facilities that the Sureños was to push upon the Northside foods. Anybody from the north, they were pushing the line. They were tripping, and some of the yards were saying that they weren't even allowed on some of the yards. Now, when this occurred, I had some homies that were on the yards, like the homie Momo and Fowlin and Cheto, the homie Pockets, bro. They were homies, and we kind of got some shit settled down with that the Sureños just couldn't rush them, that they had to actually give the heads up. But like you always say, there's always going to be people against that and resist. So there was only a situation where we held off the whole situation for a little bit of time, and after a while it got set off again. So what I'm going to say like this, and this is the reality, is there's a hood, OGCs, and I have talked about this before, Northside OGCs, and they're Crips from the north side. And because they're Crips, the Sureños couldn't just rush them fools because of the politics of Cripping. They couldn't just move in on Northside Crips because that would have got the Crips involved. So for a long time, the only Northside hood that really was getting more of a pass and fools not really tripping was the Northside OGCs, the original gangsta Crips. When they started riding the right way, the revolution, and they didn't just bang the Northside politics, they got a little bit of leeway, and the Sureños had to kind of back up off that situation and not trip on Northside C's. And that was probably the only Northside hood that really didn't get the domino effect all the way like the other Northside hoods. And to be honest, from my experience from 2000, like the 2004 all the way to when I got out, the Northside fools and the Norteños had it tough on a lot of yards. There was a lot of pressure applied on their heads. That's the reality. There was a lot of Sureños. They have 5-on-1 rules, and they were going in on the Northside because the Northside fools, they didn't really have the numbers of the Sureños like that, bro. They didn't really have the numbers of the Sureños like that. So it made it a little easy for the Sureños to actually have that kind of power and rush whatever North was hitting the yard. Now, these are my experiences. Like I said, this is when I was on the yard. The North probably had it. They had a lot on their head. Now, I went to Bend County, though. When I was in Bend County, the Northside fools were with the Denver car, and the Denver car set it off with the Sureños, and they rushed the Sureños in Bend County Correctional Facility on the 7A side. They rushed them. They figured it out, and they figured out when the Sureños were going to GED, and all the Northside fools that were on the 5-4-3 side, them fools went over there, bro, and they actually rushed them fools because they had more of the numbers, and they caught the Sureños slipping. I talked about this story multiple times, and they got at them fools. What up, cuz? All love, homie. You know what it is. Small high salute. So, yeah, the OGC homies, like the fools I knew, when they kept it 100% thorough all the way around, and they kept it revolution, and they banged the aspect of cripping, they always had that aspect to actually back them up if anything was to trip. But as soon as they didn't ride the revolution in a proper way, then the Sureños could actually get out, and there was a green light on them fools' heads too. Let me see. My brother is sick of the fake cholos. So yeah, like I said, the Northside OGCs was one of the more aspect of a Northside hood being on yards, bro. And when I say this, bro, to be honest, I'm gonna be real. I have Northside homies, family. They had it hard. They had it harder. Besides the Inca boys, bro. Besides like Inca boys being on the yards, they had it. They went through the most on most yards when that shit was kicking off. They had a lot of pressure on their helmets. Like them Sureño boys, them Sureño fools, they pushed up and they pressed the line as soon as they would hit the yards. And it's crazy because the Norteños on them yards, bro, they didn't really have a lot of time to actually put stuff together, if you know what I'm saying, because them Sureños, as soon as they hit the yard, they would hear about that shit, and them Sureños would approach them right away and say, you got to get off the yard ASAP or you're going to get took off the yard. I used to actually ask myself too, like, and I told a couple people this that I knew that were going to the penitentiary, that were gangbanging out there. And this is the crazy part, homie, is like, before I went to the penitentiary, a lot of people were doing shit for fads. Like they were doing stuff to be a part of gang life, not knowing what they actually were signing up for and not knowing what they were actually getting themselves into. And then when they had hit the compounds and they seen what it was, a lot of people they were too in depth and too far into that lifestyle where now they had to face what came their way. Now they had to face that demon that came their way. There was no way getting from it. You couldn't get away from it, you know? What up, Sev? How about them Broncos? You know what it is. Mall high salute to the real ones. What's up with it, fam? Good to see you over here. You know what it is. We put in work. Um, I knew this one Norteño, and he was from Vadio Northtown, the VNT fools, and he was a solid NA, he was a solid North, and this fool, he would get on the yard and them fools approach and automatically he would get off. See, that's what kind of you have to do when you're in them situations. You got to just get off right away, bro. You got to just get off. You can't let them fools move in on you. You see the first one and you just got to get off. And that's what he would do. And he caught a lot of time, but he knew what he signed up for. And he always was in CSP. And he would get back out to the yard and he would have to handle his business as soon as he hit that yard, because them Sureño fools, as soon as he hit the yard, they were trying to apply pressure, bro. You know what I'm saying? They were applying pressure. And the only way he survived on multiple yards is getting off first. And that's what I'm saying is, like, that's the way you have to conduct yourself when you're in them predicaments. But that's a crazy way to live, bro. But when you sign up for that, that's kind of what the situation is. And he would have to, as soon as he hit the yard, he would just have to be ready, because they were going to come. They were good. They were pressing the line and they were coming. They were tripping with old boy because of just how much work he put in, you know. What up with it? What up with Gilly? What's cracking with everybody, you know? But a lot of times, bro, and that's the real aspect of the gang aspect with them politics. Now, I'm not them, but what I've seen and what I've noticed and people I know, from 2004 all the way till I got out, the north side fools, man, they had a lot on their helmets, bro. They had so much pressure on their helmets. Like, they were gonna get busy as soon as they got to the yard. There was no air. They didn't let them fools breathe, bro. They didn't let them fools breathe. And they was gonna hit you. They was gonna hit you as soon as they got, where you from? And they would give you a warning aspect, like, you got a couple days to get off this yard, or they were gonna they coming for you. You know? Just kicking, man. Just got caught in traffic. You just got back to the crib. Oh yeah, I just got off of work, my bro. So yeah. So to them fools that were arguing in my comment section about, you know, them eliminating the north off the yard. Now, I can't say they eliminated every single north off the yard. North side Denver fools, Norteños. I can't say they eliminated, but they did apply pressure to the point they had a big aspect of control on a lot of the yards, like with the Mexicanos and them. Like, they had a big aspect of control and power just because of their numbers. Them number games, when you hit the yard and there's a big population of a certain circle and a certain hood, you know, they dictated a lot what was going on. And I've only actually seen a yard where the north side and the Norteños were actually had more numbers, and that was a minimum restricted. That was like a MR. That was Trinidad. I seen Trinidad when I went to Trinidad. I seen the north side fools and the Norteños have more numbers. But you know the mistake of it is that even when they have the numbers, they didn't just automatically rush the Sureños that were on the yard. They let them fools breathe. And sure enough, when the Sureños got deep, when the Sureños got deep, bro, it turned into a big ass fight because the north side had their opportunity and the Norteños had their opportunity to rush, and they kind of let them fools breathe, and then the Sureños got numbers, and as soon as the Sureños got numbers, they set it off with the north side fools. North side and the Sureños are on some Rasa unit. So yeah, and I hear this. To me, I can't fathom it because that was never the case when I did time. Now I hear that definitely. I hear that 100%. And that's probably good. But when I was doing time, that wasn't even thought of. That wasn't even a thing where they would actually unite. Um, they hated each other, bro. That was the biggest set off in hoods in Colorado was the North and the Sureños when I was doing time. My whole time doing time, it was that was the biggest fights in there was the North and the Sureños. And the Sureños just basically they kind of just apply pressure. They apply pressure a lot in there, bro. You know, that's one thing about them. Like when I was doing time, the Sureños definitely was militant. They were hella militant, and they had their politics were structured into being like structured. One of the more structured politics was Sureños. You know what I'm saying? Because they had their homies doing mandatories. Um, and that's the truth that they were militant as car. But I haven't been to the penitentiary in a long time, and I'm hearing that from multiple people. And that's probably a good thing, man. That's probably a good thing, you know, to get them fools on the same page, definitely. But it was hecticness, bro. I could remember honestly times to be 100 where the North Side and the Sureños, they would get locked up, have the facility on lockdown, and then they would get out of being on lockdown. And as soon as they got out, it was just bang sessions, bro. They would pop the doors and fools would go at it again. Um, you know, that's the truth. That's just 100% the truth. Like they would get off of lockdowns for end it off with each other, and soon as they got off of lockdowns, the doors would pop, and they would be at it again, bro. Nah, and I got, like I said, I got relatives and homies that held their own and would fight and put in that work for the north side of Denver. Um, but it was a lot. It was a lot when they seen that number gang, bro. When they seen that number game and your car's outnumbered by 50, 60 members and you're getting rushed, even the solid foods, they understand how serious it is. And if you have any type of softness in you, you gon' fold. And that was a lot of, that's why a lot of Northside took a lot of losses because the Sureños just had so many numbers on these yards. You know, they had numbers, bro. They outnumbered 10-1 on a lot of the yards, bro. And it takes a real life in a row and a real life fool that really lives that life to actually stay on the yard and get active. You know, that's the truth. It takes a lot. It takes a real life general and a real life soldier to stay on the yard when you know that you're basically behind enemy lines and you know what's coming, and stay on that yard to get active. There's a lot of people that ain't even built like that, you know. Um, but so I just wanted to say that, bro. In them days and in that time frame when I was on the yard, um, that's basically who survived. Basically the OGC fools, Northside OGCs. Those are the ones that really didn't. The Sureños could not just press and put pressure on them fools because of cripping, and they were cool for the most part, you know. They actually there was plenty of them fools that stayed on the yard that didn't even get involved with the Sureños and the Northside fools. They didn't even get involved because they basically were, you know what I'm saying, with the crib car, and that's how they had to hold that, and that's what they hold it, because in there you can't just move in on a car without it being a domino effect of some type of situation, you know. There's always going to be a domino effect. What's up, Monet? What's up, Monet? What you doing? Hello. Okay, I hear you. Well, Mall High salute to y'all. I'm going to tap out. I just got to the crib. We're about to eat some dinner. Hope you guys have a blessed night. I will see you, man. Y'all be good.
Go take a shower.